Smith, you must be the only reporter working in the sports department of the New York Daily News who's not covering the Subway Series.
You know what? Someone has to be here for this big event. It's not the Subway Series, but to us tonight, it's almost as big. And I got to say, go Mets.
Go Mets?
Go Mets.
What do you say?
I'll say it's not cricket.
Back to you, Steve Areno.
All right, thank you very much, Bill. Bill picking New York to win the Subway Series. The media, like many of you viewers, are drawn to this event and really intrigued by it in large part because it's totally unpredictable. Will one or both just snap? Either way, this should provide something for everybody. The critics are poised to point out another black eye for boxing. The purists have hopes for a clean, entertaining fight. And those into the bazaar are grinning at the prospect of another unforgettable incident. Whatever happens later, it's been an interesting week leading up to the fight. Here's a closer look.
I'm just looking forward to this. This is going to be real good for me.
We're going to knock Golata out. Knock him cold out.
I didn't come to this town to lose.
No, Mikey, no, Mikey. It's about me, man. It's all about Mike, man. That's the real deal. 6'5", 240. But to me, very, very small. He's over there laughing. We're up here laughing. Everybody laughing. This is serious, though. We won't be laughing Friday.
So following an event, the results will be shown on the webpage and announced during the course of the telecast. Online scoring will not influence the outcome of the fight, so log on to show.com and participate in the interactive experience. Online scoring for tonight's main event, Tyson versus Golata, brought to you by Mike Tyson Boxing for the PlayStation. 42 knockouts. You're next. And coming up next, the main event, two of the most controversial and enigmatic fighters in the heavyweight division set to go head-to-head. Mike Tyson versus Andrew Golata. We'll take you into the dressing room of the former undisputed heavyweight champ. Tyson treating Golata almost as an afterthought, in one breath saying this is his last fight, and another saying bring on Lennox Lewis for the title, forget Holyfield, he's old news, and revenge is not a factor, even though deep down it has to be. But don't overlook David Tua. And as for tonight, Tyson says it'll last as long as it takes, in his words, to kill somebody. Mike watching a little too much wrestling. Well, while armchair psychologists are having a field day with Mike Tyson, you know that only one person really knows what's going inside his head.
Yes, once in my life I'm just having a good time with this stuff. You know what I mean? I don't got to prove it. Everyone knows I can fight. Everyone knows what I'm going to do. And Golata can't beat me. People say, well, his style's going to make him difficult. This style. No, it's not the style that matters. It's the morale behind the style that matters. It's the intention and the fierceness and the malice and the contempt, the hurt in this particular sport. I like tough guys. All the time in prison, I always ran these guys, they were tough. When they were in, they ain't tough. When they get confronted, they ain't tough. When I bring that pain to them, they ain't tough. My preeminence in this sport won't be overlooked. I won't allow it to be overlooked.
Well, there you have it, the words of Mike Tyson as we get closer to the main event. The sense of anticipation heightens. Will Tyson versus Golata be a war? Will it be another easy night for Tyson, or will Golata pull off a surprise, or will we witness another debacle? As the countdown continues, we'll take a look at the official weigh-in, which took place yesterday afternoon. A final opportunity for some public posing and posturing by the two principals. We understand we won't see that right now, but I will tell you that Golata checked in at 240 pounds and Tyson checked in at 222, which has been a consistent weight for him over the last several fights. Now, despite careers once filled with promise, tonight's combatants have become infamous for their violent indiscretions in the ring. Here's a look back at the checkered histories of Mike Tyson and Andrew Golata. Mike Tyson, now so vilified, was once the most charismatic and celebrated fighter of his generation. But over the last 4 years, his career has been indelibly marred by controversies and inexplicable fouls. Tyson showing desperation in fighting Holyfield 2 time. Look out now. More fighting in the ring after the end of the fight. And Tyson is just taking swipes at anybody in front of him.
Look at me. Look at me. I got to go home and my kids are going to be scared of me. Look at me, man.
Hey, Mike. Mike. Come on. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, break.
Oh, and he hits him after the bell, and Norris goes down, and here we go again. Tyson hit Norris after the bell. A barrage by Tyson. The referee, John Coyle, steps between, and he continues. Coyle's trying to stop it.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
Tyson's opponent, Andrew Golata, has not exactly earned himself a reputation as a choir boy either. His blatant low blows and enigmatic behavior were never more apparent than in his two battles against Riddick Bowe.
Oh, Golata's hitting below the belt. Golata again with low blows. So look at this. Bowe goes down. That's it. Golata's disqualified. Golata is absolutely unbelievable.
As they prepare for tonight's contest, both combatants hope their bout will not deteriorate into an embarrassing foul fest.
Yeah, he should be very nice to me. He shouldn't initiate anything as far as any foul tactics or anything. I really hope he doesn't do that. I don't think he will.
I don't think it's dirty, you know. I don't think anybody's dirty, you know, in the ring. But the thing is, you know, he might lose his focus, you know, in the fights.
I don't want to get in a dirty fight with nobody. He doesn't want to get, I'm sure he doesn't want to get in a dirty fight with me.
When it comes to the fight, you know, whatever he does, whatever he starts, I finish, you know.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wrestle with anybody. I'm going to land my fist on his face and his ribs.
Well, the question now is this. Have Tyson and Golata learned from their past transgressions? Will they enter tonight's bout with the intent to fight by the rules, or are they already resigned to the notion of foul play, particularly after hearing and reading how almost everyone is expecting the worst? Let me bring on my ringside partner, former world champion Bobby Ches. And Bobby, if Tyson's conduct is okay and he comes up with a victory, does he get to return to the big money venues in Nevada?
I think Las Vegas will welcome him with open arms. He still generates the big bucks. He makes the most money for the venues everywhere throughout the world, especially Las Vegas.
What if he self-destructs and fouls out again?
You know, it's not inconceivable if he fouls out that here in Michigan they'll ban him and that they'll ban him throughout the United States. I don't think that that's going to happen. But boy, I'll tell you what, you never know.
What about the referee situation? Frank Garza is very inexperienced. He's had only one title fight. This isn't a title fight, but still, I mean, experienced referees have had their difficulties with Tyson. Now you throw Golata into the mix. Doesn't a fight of this magnitude on this level call for a more seasoned third man of the ring?
I completely agree. I think that a referee who has a proven track record, who's proven himself in big fights, tough fights, who's made tough decisions, split-second reactions can make the difference, change lives and history here. I think a better referee would have been better suited for this fight.
Plus the size factor, he's only 5'8", 172 against these hulking heavyweights. That's not going to be easy.
Well, Mills Lane's not a big man, a small man in size, but a big man in stature. He controls the fighters in the ring. He knows his business. He does it well.
All right, Tyson and Golata, two freight trains heading straight for each other, a matchup that has captured the imagination of many people, including boxing commentator, painter, and writer Ferdy Pacheco, better known as the Fight Doctor. Ferdy takes a personal look at tonight's star attraction in this latest installment of The Doctor Is In.
Once considered a candidate to stand with Dempsey, Lewis, Marciano, and Ali, Tyson is now a defrocked bully, incapable of assuming accountability for his actions and for accepting the responsibility he has to the sport of boxing and to his audience. When Tyson was sentenced to an Indianapolis penitentiary, I resolved to write to him after every Showtime fight. I had no great personal friendship with Mike, nor was I a fan of his in particular. But as a member of the boxing fraternity, I was just trying to lighten his load. Well, for almost 2 years, he never wrote back. But one day, to my surprise, I received this letter. And in it, he said, and I quote, "Believe it or not, I always liked you as a man, but I never knew how to take you. Because I am a great believer that we must distrust one another. It's our only defense against being betrayed." I never heard from him again. With a philosophy like that, is it any wonder that Tyson can implode at any time, ending what could have been one of boxing's greatest careers, and more tragically, a life filled with promise? Could this implosion happen tonight against the equally unpredictable and volatile Andrew Golata? I, for one, sincerely hope not. This is The Fight Doctor, and this is my diagnosis.
Well, that's why we're here, to see what happens between